Are these ricotta balls better than traditional meatballs? I'll let you be the judge, but let me show you how to make them.
I'm going to start by chopping my fresh parsley. I like to chop my parsley by holding the stems at the very end and then sort of chipping away at it with my knife. This helps to remove the leaves and leave the stems intact. Don't throw the stems away, they make a great addition to stock.
I'm using finely chopped parsley in my mixture, but you could also add basil or swap out one or the other, or you can leave them out altogether. I just really like the freshness the herbs bring to the dish.
Once it's finely chopped, you'll want about 1/4 cup or around 7 grams of parsley. Alternatively, you could use dried parsley, just use half the amount.
Preheat your oven to 175 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit.
Let's mix up our polpette. To a large bowl, add 500 grams or 2 cups of drained ricotta cheese. It doesn't need to be perfectly dry, but you want to remove some of the moisture. Then add in 1/3 a cup, 42 grams of freshly grated parmigiano reggiano cheese. It looks like more than 1/3 of a cup when I put it into the bowl, but if you pack it into the measuring cup, it will equal out. Then add in 1/2 cup, 60 grams of breadcrumbs.
This recipe can easily be made gluten-free just by swapping in gluten-free breadcrumbs.
Mine aren't seasoned, but if yours are, you can omit the salt. Speaking of which, add in 1/2 teaspoon, 2 grams of salt. Add in the parsley we chopped earlier and a fresh grating of nutmeg, about 1/4 teaspoon or 1 gram. Drizzle in 1 tablespoon, 15 milliliters of extra virgin olive oil. Then add in 2 eggs and get in there with your hands and start mixing. If your cheese is a little bit wet and you find the mixture is really soft, you can go ahead and add in a little bit more of the breadcrumbs. I'm adding in another 15 grams, about 1 tablespoon. You can see here my mixture is still a little bit soft and delicate, which is what we want for that perfect bite, but it holds together nicely when you form it into a ball. Drizzle a baking tray with an even coating of olive oil. I like to spread it out a little bit with my fingers so there's a nice even coating across the entire pan. I'm using a 3 tablespoon ice cream scoop to help form my polpette, but you can just as easily use 2 large tablespoons, or just grab out a bit with your hands. They don't have to be perfect, just delicious. Then roll the ball within the palms of very clean hands. If you have excess cheese or bits on your hands, the polpette will stick and it won't form that nice ball, so make sure you're giving them a rinse every now and again. Continue forming your polpette and filling your tray. With this size ball, it makes about 16 polpette. Drizzle the tops with a little bit more olive oil and then into the oven.
And these will need to cook for about 20 minutes or until they start to get a nice golden brown crust. Alternatively, if you don't want to bake them, you can drop them straight into the sauce. I like the texture a little bit better when they're baked, but when they're in the sauce, they really absorb that flavor and they stay super light and pillowy.
Once your polpette have a beautiful golden crust on top, you have 2 options. You can then place them into your sauce to absorb some of that flavor, or you can plate them up with a little bit of sauce on the bottom of your plate. All that's left to do is enjoy. Buon appetito!
Once baked, these will store in the refrigerator for 2 to 3 days. I'd recommend storing them outside of the sauce because once they're in the sauce, they start to absorb it and they get really soft and squidgy. You don't want to freeze these. The ricotta can change texture in the freezer and you just might not have as nice a texture and flavor when you eat them. And if you're looking for more meaty meatballs, you have to try my nonna's recipe. And my mom even came in the kitchen to make them with me. And if you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and I'll see you next week.